Hello. Happy Sunday. Sunday's my favorite day. I don't know why, I think it's a good day for resting. You know, classic rest day. I appreciate that about it. But I think there's something to it. I don't know, maybe we've given Sundays a specific feeling, a specific vibe. I'd love to try and get that back. Sort of a day to appreciate rest. A day to appreciate just looking around and seeing all that we have instead of trying to produce more. Or looking around and noticing where we are blessed. And if you can notice where you are blessed, you can also notice where you can bless another person. And I think we all deserve a community of people who look after one another and help one another. Because it's really hard to do everything that we're expected to do in society all by ourselves. It's so hard to keep a home the way that we're expected to, or to be these individual families, these individuals who have to fend for themselves. And we each have to have, you know, our own everything. And I know that we're used to that, and we enjoy that. And that feels like freedom to us, but I think freedom for me would be living in a world where I got to do the things that made sense for me and what I am skilled at and what I feel satisfied doing, and knowing that there are other people out there who feel satisfied doing the things that I don't like to do. People who feel really great about doing nursing. I couldn't do that, but I'm so grateful that there are people out there who can. People out there with skills, with the, you know, the constitution to go into healthcare, front lines of healthcare. That's something I couldn't do, something that I appreciate. It's a skill that I appreciate that other people have or other people can hone. And there's so many things like that. There's a lot of things like that that you don't have to try and fit yourself into this role that doesn't serve you or doesn't work for you. And I spent a lot of my life trying to fit myself into roles that haven't worked for me. Because that's not what I consider important in life. The things that society expects of us. And what I value is all of this. I value the natural world, and I value my friends, and I value my life and their lives, and I value their skills, and I value the plants and the animals and the earth. And I value all of that to a level where I understand that I couldn't be here without all of these other beings, all of these other denizens of our planet, and without our planet as a whole. And so today I feel extra blessed. I feel particularly blessed. I was blessed with a financial boon, if you will, recently. A little one. But all the same, it is a huge blessing for me, and I'm really taking that in. And what I am hoping to share with you is that if you want to receive, if you want to be a part of the cycle of giving and receiving, if you want to be a recipient of abundance, you have to learn how to give. You have to learn how to make room. And you have to learn how to work with the momentum of giving and receiving. And you have to learn how to trust. And we live in a society where it's very reasonable for us to hoard our money, for us to hoard what we get in case there is a time when we don't have enough. And we see our friends and we see them suffering, and we see that they have a deficit in some place in their life, and we say, well, it's too bad I can't help them. But you can. You absolutely can. If you have a surplus and someone you love has a deficit, I think the right thing to do is to share. I really do. I really think that, I don't want to get into morality. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're a person who wants to be engaged in the receiving of abundance from the universe, from God, then you have to be giving it. You have to be giving it away. You have to learn both. You can't be sitting around like, oh, I don't have enough. I never have enough. There's never enough, because then there's never enough. There's always enough. You just sometimes have to find it. Or sometimes you have to be patient. Or sometimes you have to be creative. And sometimes you have to ask for help. But sometimes you have to give help. Sometimes you have to notice, oh, my friends need something. My community is hurting. And I have the power to help that in a small way. Then I find that it really helps to establish that motion. It starts the ball rolling. And then you start to see exactly the nature of the energies of giving and receiving, and you can really start to play with that. And I'm not a person who ever has money. I am notoriously bad at money. I give it away. This is not financial advice at all. This is a great way to be broke a lot. So let me be clear. Do not be thinking that this is going to make you rich. It's not a get rich quick scheme at all. It's a get broke quick scheme. So this is not for you. If you are trying to take, to take more than you need, if you're trying to take from other people, from what they need, if you're trying to grab for yourself with no thought of your community, no thought of those outside of your community, no thought of those who you don't consider your community. If you are looking to be one of those people who extract from the earth for your own selfish benefit and then hoard it away, I'm not talking to you. There's a different channel for you. There's a different sermon somewhere else. But if you're looking to create within your experience a truly magical way of being that really it's risky, but it is so satisfying to watch the way that it always works, and to watch the way that it does always come together, and the way that I am always taken care of. And it doesn't mean I don't have to do some work. It doesn't mean I don't have to be a little creative. And it doesn't mean that I don't have to ask for help. Sometimes I do ask for help. But I also, when I have a surplus, I don't hoard it. I help my friends. Because I don't feel good when my friends are hurting. I don't feel good when my friends aren't happy. I feel good when my friends are joyous. When they feel good in their lives, when they get to do fun things, when they get to eat, when they get to pay their rent. I love that. And I think what I'm saying is that we really need to start taking care of one another. A lot of us talk about how we are sensitive and we can feel other people's feelings. We feel their pain. But what do we do about it? What do we really do about it? What about the pain that we feel from the earth? What about the pain that you feel from people thousands of miles away that you don't even know? What about when you feel that pain, and the pain of the extraction of all the earth's resources in such a way that is so damaging and so polarized? This blade of grass wants to get in the spotlight. And for what? What life do you want to live? Do you want to live a life where you are content and happy in your own little house, your own little box with your own people and your close family, and you're gonna get what's yours and forget everybody else? And you're gonna go to work, you're gonna work 40 hours a week, you're gonna come home and all that money's gonna go to your groceries and all that stuff, and what little's left you're gonna hoard away. You're just gonna squirrel it away, because eventually times are gonna be tough and nobody's gonna look out for one another. Not my neighbor's not gonna look out for me, I'm not gonna look out for them. Well, what if we started now? We could start now building communities that do look after one another. You could meet your neighbor. You could find out that your neighbor that you thought was some kind of old curmudgeon, maybe he has some kind of wonderful skill that you don't have that would really come in handy at the apocalypse. You don't know. So, if all of this really is, coming to some kind of end, wouldn't it be nice if we had communities that were truly, genuinely supporting each other? And maybe if we started building that now, maybe, just maybe, we could avoid all of that. Because once you're in the wheel, once you're rolling, you know that everything will work out and that you will be taken care of. You know everything will be okay. You know that even if you have to give everything away, that you will receive that back in an even bigger and more beautiful way than you thought possible. And it's, you don't have to impoverish yourself. You just have to ask yourself what would be the loving choice. You have to ask yourself, how can you be most loving with what you have available? I go around, I don't have much. And I value my comfort. I value eating the foods I want to eat. But what I really value is doing what I can to make my friends more comfortable in a world that is uncomfortable right now. It's so uncomfortable. We can all feel it. And so for me, it doesn't feel right to hoard anything. That's not the way Earth acts. The Earth grows. It's just growing. It's just being, existing. You don't have to pay a tree to grow. You can pop thousands of apple trees all in a row, and they'll grow apples for you. You don't have to pay them. It's just what they do. And then you have the audacity to pick all those apples and then sell them? The way that I live to some people is radical. And I do use money. I have to use money. I'm not prepared to escape into the wilderness and not be a part of all of you, all of this, you know. It costs money to live in the world. But I don't have a job, and I will not have a job. And I try my best to disalign from the institutions that I believe are causing pain in our world. And I don't expect anyone else to live the life that I live or to want to, because it is uncomfortable at times. But what's uncomfortable to me is not having freedom. And the reliance on money, it takes away our freedom. It takes away our autonomy. And so I'm just asking you to think about that. And to just imagine, what if there was a different way? What if we could all, as a culture, as a species, as an earth, in collaboration with all of this, all of the plants and animals, the microbes, the air, the water, the trees, everything. What if we were to go into collaboration mode and be creative? We have all this technology, and what are we doing? Murder. We're doing murder. We're doing murder all over the world for our comfort. And that, to me, is unacceptable. Death is unavoidable. But murder and genocide and slavery, those are human terrors. We could stop that. We don't have to be doing that. So this is a call to my creative beings, my creative friends. I know y'all are out there. I know that we have a hard time sometimes. I know that it's hard for us to really express ourselves and our creativity because we are so bogged down by all of the dramas of the culture, all of the sickness that we can see around us everywhere. And also all of the beauty, and how heart-wrenchingly terrible it is to know that all of this is beautiful, and to know that we don't have to destroy it, but to feel like we're screaming into a void. But you're not screaming into a void. We are out here, and we are creating things. And it's quiet work. The work itself is quiet. And the people who are yelling really loudly right now are the ones who want to destroy all of this. But we don't have to let them. And the way we do that is we realize who we are, and we realize our creative power, and we realize that we have made this. We have made rules. We have made structures. We created them. And we can reassess. And we can be explosively creative if we want to. We can be wildly creative. We could change everything if we wanted to. Because we created all the structures. So my creative friends, my creative people, we need to keep on keeping on. Keep feeling, keep crying, keep feeling with your heart. Keep grieving and keep loving. And we have to envision, we have to create. We are the ones who will create it, who will build it. Together. Not individually, not separately, not for money, but because we love so deeply all of this life that is so beautiful. Thank you for joining me out here in the forest with the aspen trees and the grass and the flies. My motto really is that we could all be having a nice time right now. And so sometimes when I get frustrated, I think, we could all be having a nice time right now. So I'm asking you, how can you make your community, the people in your life, how can you foster having a nice time right now? We all deserve to have a nice time right now. But in all seriousness, I do genuinely feel that there is a stirring. There's a stirring. And we're gonna do something. Us creative beings, us loving beings, those of us who are really committed to living authentic lives in which we foster the ability for other people to live authentic lives. Whatever that looks like for you in your journey. I know that as a creative person, you are doing what you need to do in order to get there and in order to be that person. And when it's time, you'll step into that. And maybe you already have. Alright, and with that, I'm going to end this video. I am the disreputable Reverend, Hannah Winters. Thank you for being here. Happy Sunday.